What if the most powerful statement you can make is to say nothing at all? In a world drowning in noise, we have forgotten that true strength lies not in the volume of our voice, but in the wisdom of our silence. This is the path to mastering both. When to speak, when to stay silent. Compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. The power behind restraint. Imagine a massive river dam holding back the force of 1,000,000 tons of water. The dam's immense strength is not demonstrated through chaotic, explosive action, but through its profound, unshakable stillness. It does not move. It does not make a sound. Yet, in its quiet restraint, it holds a power that could carve canyons and move mountains. This quiet potential, this controlled force, is the very definition of power. Now imagine a broken pipe spewing water uselessly in every direction. It is noisy, it is frantic, but it is ultimately weak. Its power dissipated and wasted. This is the inner conflict that defines our relationship with speech. Many of us live like the broken pipe. We believe that power and influence come from speaking more, from filling every silence, from constantly broadcasting our thoughts and opinions. We talk when we are nervous, we talk to impress, we talk to defend our ego, and we talk simply because we fear the quiet. The problem is that this constant, unrestrained output of words is not a display of strength, but of a lack of control. It signals to the world that we are leaking energy, that our inner world is chaotic, and that we lack the fortitude to simply be still. We mistake noise for presence and verbal output for value, when in reality, we are just weakening ourselves. The transformative solution is to discover the power behind restraint. This is the practice of becoming the great dam, learning that true strength is demonstrated not by the words you speak, but by the words you have the discipline not to speak. It is the conscious choice to hold back, to observe, to listen, and to speak only with deliberation and purpose. The core Stoic principle here is the virtue of temperance, or sophrosin, which means self-control and moderation. The Stoics knew that a man who is a slave to his own tongue, who cannot control his impulse to speak, is a slave in the truest sense. He is not in command of himself. Restraint, therefore, is not a sign of weakness or shyness. It is the ultimate sign of self-mastery. It communicates to others that you are so confident in your own position that you don't need to constantly assert it. Your stillness becomes more powerful than their noise, and your eventual words, when they do come, carry the immense weight of the water behind the dam. To begin cultivating this immense power, you must practice the art of the conscious pause. The first actionable step is to make a commitment to listen more than you speak. In your next conversation, set a private goal to let the other person speak 80% of the time. See yourself as a detective whose only job is to gather information, not to offer opinions. This will feel unnatural at first, but it is a powerful first step in taming the impulse to talk. The second step is to embrace the 3-second rule. Before you speak, especially in a meeting or a heated discussion, silently count to 3. This small gap is often enough to let the initial reactive impulse pass, allowing you to ask yourself, does this truly need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said by me right now? The third step is to practice mindful silence. Find a few minutes each day to simply sit in a quiet room with no distractions. Become comfortable with the absence of noise. Learn to see silence not as an empty void to be filled, but as a rich, peaceful space for clarity and thought. The benefits of practicing restraint are profound. You will immediately be perceived as more thoughtful, wise, and powerful. People will lean in to hear what you have to say, because they know you do not speak carelessly. You will avoid countless arguments and misunderstandings born from impulsive, ill-considered words. You will gain incredible insight into others and into situations because you will finally be quiet enough to truly observe. You transform yourself from the leaky pipe, wasting its potential, into the great dam, holding immense power in serene, silent reserve. Your practice is to enter one conversation today with the sole intention of understanding the other person's point of view, without trying to win, persuade, or even contribute unless absolutely necessary. Just listen. Feel the power in your restraint. Restraint builds the foundation of power. But when we do choose to release that power and speak, we must understand the immense responsibility that comes with every word we utter. Next, we will explore the true weight of every word. To continue this journey into the heart of Stoic wisdom, please subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. The weight of every word. Imagine a master archer with a quiver containing only a few precious arrows. He knows that each arrow, once fired, can never be taken back. Each arrow has the power to either hit the bullseye, providing sustenance and victory, or to miss entirely, wasting his energy and alerting his prey. Because his arrows are so precious, he treats each one with immense respect. He chooses his moment with patience, he aims with unwavering focus, and he releases only when he is certain of his purpose. His words are like those arrows. This is the inner conflict we face every day. We live as if we have an infinite supply of arrows. We fire our words carelessly, without thought for their trajectory or their impact. We gossip to pass the time, we make sarcastic remarks to feel clever, we complain to vent our frustrations, and we make promises we don't intend to keep. The problem is that we have forgotten that our words have weight. They are not just sounds, they are creative or destructive forces. Each careless word erodes our credibility, complicates our relationships, and lowers our own self-respect. We are like a foolish archer, filling the air with useless arrows, wondering why we never hit any targets of significance. The transformative solution is to rediscover the weight of every word. This is the discipline of treating your words like the master archer treats his arrows, as precious, powerful tools to be used with precision, purpose, and profound respect. The core Stoic idea here is rooted in the concept of logos, which means both word and reason. The Stoics believed that our ability to use language rationally was our highest faculty, the very thing that made us human. To speak carelessly, therefore, was to act beneath our own nature. A person of high character understands that their word is their bond. Their speech is a direct reflection of their inner state, and so they guard it as fiercely as they would guard their own honor. They know that trust, respect, and authority are built not on the quantity of words, but on their quality, on their unwavering alignment with truth and intention. To begin speaking with this level of mastery, you must first become aware of your own carelessness. The first actionable step is to go on a complaint diet for 24 hours. Make a conscious effort to not utter a single complaint, either about your circumstances, other people, or yourself. This will reveal how much of your daily speech is dedicated to unproductive negativity. The second step is to practice speaking with precision. For the next week, try to eliminate filler words like like, and you know from your vocabulary. This forces you to think more carefully before you speak and makes your words more direct and impactful. The third and most powerful step is to make a promise and keep it. Start small. Promise yourself you will complete a specific task tomorrow and then do it without fail. This practice begins to rebuild the sacred trust between your words and your actions, which is the foundation of all integrity. The benefits of understanding the weight of your words are immense. You will find that people begin to listen to you with a new level of respect and attention. When you speak, your words will land with the force of a well-aimed arrow, not the whisper of a spent one. You will build a reputation for being trustworthy, reliable, and a person of your word, which is one of the most valuable assets a person can have. Your relationships will deepen as they will be built on a foundation of clear, honest communication. You become the master archer whose silent presence is respected and whose every arrow counts. Your practice is to choose one specific promise to make to yourself or someone else today, no matter how small, and then to pour all your honor into the act of keeping it. Understanding the weight of our words naturally leads to using them less. The wise archer knows that most of the time, the best action is no action at all. True mastery lies in knowing when to keep the arrow in the quiver. Next, we will explore the profound power of silence as a tool of strategic wisdom. Please like this video to show your commitment to speaking with purpose. Lesson 3. Silence as strategic wisdom. Imagine two warriors facing each other on a battlefield. The first warrior is inexperienced and nervous. He shouts taunts, he boasts of his strength, and he telegraphs his every move with agitated, anxious energy. He is filling the space with noise, hoping to intimidate his opponent, but in reality, he is revealing his own fear and giving away valuable information about his strategy. The second warrior, a true master, is perfectly still. He is silent. His silence is not passive, it is active. He is observing, listening, and analyzing. He is watching his opponent's frantic movements, studying his weaknesses, and conserving his own energy for the one decisive moment. His silence is a shield and a weapon. It unnerves his opponent and conceals his own intentions. This is the inner conflict we face in high-stakes situations. Our instinct, driven by anxiety and a desire to control the outcome, is to talk. We over-explain in negotiations. We ramble in interviews. We rush to defend ourselves when criticized. We act like the novice warrior, believing that more words will lead to a better outcome. The problem is that this nervous chatter almost always weakens our position. We reveal our weaknesses, we talk ourselves out of good deals, and we project a lack of confidence and power. The transformative solution is to learn to wield silence as strategic wisdom. This is the art of using stillness as it's a tool to gain an advantage, preserve your power, and achieve your objectives more effectively than you ever could with words. The core Stoic principle here is that the wise person understands the immense value of information and the high cost of expending energy. Silence is the ultimate tool for both. When you are silent, you are in a state of pure reception. You are gathering information from the other person's words, their body language, and what they don't say. At the same time, you are conserving your own energy and revealing nothing about your own position. In any strategic interaction, the person who has the most information and has revealed the least holds the power. Silence allows you to be that person. It is not an absence of communication, it is the most powerful form of it. To begin using silence as a strategic tool, you must learn to become comfortable with the pause. The first actionable step is to practice the 7-second rule in a negotiation or important conversation. After the other person has spoken, especially after they have made an offer or a demand, stay completely silent for a full 7 seconds. This feels like an eternity, but it is incredibly powerful. It often makes the other person uncomfortable, causing them to talk more, reveal more information, or even sweeten their offer just to fill the void. The second step is to use silence to answer intrusive or foolish questions. Instead of feeling obligated to respond, simply meet the question with a calm, neutral silence and a steady gaze. This often leads to the other person retracting or rephrasing their own inappropriate question, having been forced to confront its foolishness in the space you provided. The third step is to use silence when you are criticized. Your immediate impulse is to defend. Instead, remain silent and listen. This unnerves the critic and gives you time to formulate a rational response rather than an emotional reaction. The benefits of mastering strategic silence are a game changer. You will become a far more effective negotiator and communicator. You will gain a reputation for being thoughtful, powerful, and impossible to rattle. You will conserve immense amounts of emotional and mental energy, which you can then deploy with precision when you do choose to speak. You become the master warrior, whose stillness is more intimidating and more powerful than any battle cry. You win your battles not by outshouting your opponent, but by outthinking and outlasting them from a position of calm, strategic silence. Your practice is to try the 7-second rule just once this week. In any conversation, after someone makes a point, let there be a deliberate, extended pause before you reply. Observe what happens in that space. Strategic silence is powerful, but to use it effectively, we must be actively gathering information during the pause. We must be able to accurately assess the situation. This requires a specific kind of awareness. Next, we will learn how to read the room with precision. If you are finding value in this strategic approach, please comment below with the word stillness. Lesson 4. Reading the room with precision. Imagine a master mariner navigating his ship through a treacherous archipelago. Before he ever touches the wheel or adjusts a sail, his primary activity is observation. He is not just looking at his own ship, He is reading the entire environment. He reads the color of the water to gauge its depth, the shape of the clouds to predict the wind, the behavior of the seabirds, and the subtle currents that are invisible to the untrained eye. His ability to make wise decisions is entirely dependent on his ability to accurately perceive the reality of the situation around him. This is the inner conflict that often leads us to speak or act foolishly. We enter social situations, a meeting, a family gathering, a first date, but we are not acting like the master mariner. We are so focused on our own internal state, what we want to say, how we are feeling, what we want to achieve, that we are effectively blind and deaf to the reality of the room. The problem is that we are navigating without reading the charts. We make a joke that falls flat because we failed to notice the tense atmosphere. We push our own agenda in a meeting without realizing that the key decision maker is distracted and not receptive. We speak without first perceiving, and as a result, our words, no matter how well-intentioned, often crash against the rocks. The transformative solution is to become a master of social perception, to learn the art of reading the room with precision. This is the practice of turning your powers of observation outward before you ever decide to speak or act. It is about shifting from a state of self-absorption to a state of heightened situational awareness. The core Stoic principle here is, once again, prosophe, or vigilant mindfulness, but this time applied externally. A wise person knows that effective communication is not about what you say, but about what is heard. And what is heard depends entirely on the context of the room, the emotional temperature, the power dynamics at play, and the receptiveness of your audience. By taking the time to read these invisible currents, you can tailor your actions and your words for maximum positive impact, rather than just broadcasting them into the void. To become a skilled reader of rooms, you must train your observational muscles. The first actionable step is to enter any social situation with the mindset of a detective or an anthropologist. For the first 5 minutes, your primary goal is not to talk, but to observe. Who is talking to whom? Who holds the attention of the group? What is the overall emotional tone? Is it relaxed, tense, joyful, sad? Just gather data. The second step is to focus on nonverbal cues. More than half of communication is nonverbal. Pay attention to people's posture, their tone of voice, their eye contact, or lack thereof. These signals often tell you more than their words. The person might be saying yes, but their crossed arms and tense jaw are telling you no. Trust the nonverbal data. The third step is to identify the key influencer. In any group setting, there is usually one person whose opinion or mood carries the most weight. Identifying this person and understanding their state of mind is crucial before you present an important idea. The benefits of learning to read the room are immense. You will avoid countless social blunders and faux pas. You will become incredibly persuasive and influential because you will know exactly when and how to present your ideas for maximum reception. People will see you as socially intelligent, empathetic, and wise because you will be responding to the reality of the situation, not just your own internal monologue. You become the master mariner who can navigate any social archipelago with skill and confidence because he always reads the water before he turns the wheel. Your practice is to go to a public place like a coffee shop. Sit for 10 minutes and just observe the interactions around you. Don't listen to the content of the words. Just observe the dynamics, the body language, the energy. Train your perception. Reading the room tells us when the conditions might be right to speak. But what we say and how we say it requires a fine balance of courage and control. This leads us to the critical skill of assertion. Next, we will learn how to be assertive without losing control. To show your support, please like this video and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Lesson 5. Assert without losing control. Picture a blacksmith holding a piece of white-hot steel with a pair of tongs. His grip must be firm and confident. If his grip is too loose, passive, he will drop the steel and lose control of his work. If his grip is too tight, aggressive, clenching with white-knuckled rage, his hand will tremor and he will ruin the delicate shape he is trying to forge. The master's grip is assertive, just the right amount of pressure, calm, controlled, and unwavering. This is the inner conflict we face when we need to stand up for ourselves, state an unpopular opinion, or hold someone accountable. We get the grip wrong. Fearing conflict, we often speak with a passive, weak grip. Our words are apologetic and hesitant, practically inviting the other person to dismiss us. Then, when our passivity inevitably fails, we build up resentment until we finally speak, but now our grip is too tight. We are overcome with anger, our voice is sharp, and our words are aggressive and blaming. We lurch from powerless to overpowering, never finding the effective middle ground. This makes us either ineffective or destructive, and often leaves us feeling guilty for our own outburst. The transformative solution is to learn to assert without losing control. This is the blacksmith's art of applying firm, steady pressure without aggression or fear. It is the ability to advocate for your principles and your needs from a place of centered, rational strength. The core Stoic principle here is the perfect balance between the virtues of courage and temperance. Courage demands that you speak up when justice or your purpose requires it. You must not be passive when a core value is at stake. Temperance, or self-control, demands that you do so without being hijacked by the emotions of anger or fear. Assertiveness is courageous speech filtered through the lens of temperance. It is not about winning an argument, it is about clearly and respectfully stating your position. It is powerful because it is controlled. To master this assertive grip, you must practice a specific, calm methodology. The first actionable step is to connect with your purpose before you speak. Remind yourself why you need to be assertive. I am doing this to protect the integrity of the project. Or, I am doing this because my value of respect is being violated. This anchors your action in principle, not in personal anger. The second step is to use factual, neutral language. Avoid emotional, accusatory, or exaggerated words. Instead of, "You completely ignored my instructions," try, "I noticed that the report was not formatted according to the guidelines we discussed." Stick to what a camera would see. The third step is to control your physiology. Before and during the conversation, keep your body language open and your breathing slow and steady. A calm body promotes a calm mind. A warrior does not go into battle with a trembling hand. The benefits of mastering calm assertion are immense. You will become incredibly effective at resolving conflicts and advocating for your needs without creating unnecessary drama. You will earn the respect of your peers, who will see you as a strong, fair, and stable leader. You will eliminate the guilt that comes from aggressive outbursts and the resentment that comes from passive inaction. You will develop a deep and abiding trust in your ability to handle difficult conversations with integrity and grace. You are the master blacksmith, whose firm, steady hand can shape even the most challenging situations into something strong and useful. Your practice is to identify one situation where you need to be more assertive. Before you do anything, write down a single, calm, fact-based sentence you can use to open the conversation. Calm assertion is how we speak with power. But true power is also knowing when our words are utterly useless. To preserve our energy, we must learn to be unmoved by meaningless provocations. Next, we will master the art of detaching from empty reactions. Please like and share this video if you believe in the power of calm strength. Lesson 6. Detachment from empty reactions. Imagine you are the captain of a great warship on a vital mission. As you sail, a small fishing boat pulls alongside, and its lone occupant begins to shout insults at you. He questions your seamanship, he insults your character, he yells that you are going the wrong way. The inner conflict is this: your ego, your pride, wants you to react. It wants you to stop your great ship, turn it around, and engage in a pointless battle with the tiny fishing boat. It wants you to fire your cannons to prove him wrong, to put him in his place. The problem is that engaging in this battle is a complete and utter waste of your time, your energy, and your ammunition. While you are distracted by this insignificant provocation, you are neglecting your true mission. You are letting the smallest of gnats divert the course of your entire warship. This is a perfect metaphor for how we lose our power every day. We allow the empty, reactive words of others, the online troll, the bitter colleague, the angry stranger, to trigger us into a pointless and draining emotional engagement. The transformative solution is to practice calm detachment from empty reactions. This is the captain's wisdom to hear the insults from the fishing boat and to simply keep sailing. It is the understanding that not every provocation deserves a response. In fact, most do not. The core Stoic principle here is the ruthless application of the dichotomy of control. The words and actions of other people are outside of your control. They are the weather. Your response, your focus, and the direction of your ship are entirely within your control. A high-value man, a warrior of the mind, understands that his most precious resource is his attention and energy. He refuses to squander it on pointless battles. He understands that reacting to an empty provocation gives it a power and a significance it does not deserve. His silence and his continued focus on his own mission are the most powerful response of all. It declares, "You are so irrelevant to my journey that you are not even worthy of my attention." To cultivate this disciplined detachment, you must train your mind to ignore the bait. The first actionable step is to learn to recognize empty provocations. These are comments or actions that have no constructive purpose and are designed solely to elicit an emotional reaction. Gossip, insults from strangers, and passive-aggressive remarks all fall into this category. The second step is to consciously value your own peace above the satisfaction of being right. Ask yourself, what is more important in this moment? My inner tranquility and my focus on my mission, or winning this petty argument with this person? The choice becomes obvious. The third step is to have a silent mantra of dismissal. When faced with an empty provocation, simply say to yourself, "This is noise," or "Let the dogs bark. The caravan moves on." This reinforces your decision to disengage and stay on course. The benefits of this practice are a massive increase in your available mental and emotional energy. You will be amazed at how much power you are wasting on insignificant, draining interactions. Your focus on your true purpose will become laser sharp. You will develop an aura of unshakable composure, the quiet confidence of a man who cannot be pulled into petty dramas. You become the captain of the great warship, who understands that his mission is too important to be sidetracked by the noise of fishing boats. He sails on, his eyes on the horizon, not on the churning water beside him. Your practice is to make a conscious decision to not respond to one empty provocation this week. It could be an online comment or a snide remark. Simply see it, label it as noise, and return your focus to what truly matters. Detachment from empty reactions preserves our energy. This brings us to the final and most important lesson: how to know when we must use our voice. Our final lesson is about the ultimate purpose of speech. To complete this journey, please make sure you are subscribed to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 7. Speak when purpose demands it. Imagine a quiet fire burning steadily in the heart of a secluded temple. It is tended by a silent guardian who understands its sacred nature. For days, the guardian may do nothing but watch, listen, and tend to the temple, his actions filled with a quiet reverence. He does not speak because there is no need. The fire burns, and that is enough. But then, a fierce windstorm arises, threatening to extinguish the flame. In this moment, the guardian's role changes. His silence is no longer the appropriate action. He must now speak with authority, directing others to shutter the windows. He must act with courage, shielding the flame with his own body. He does not speak out of ego or a need to be heard. He speaks because the purpose of his life, to protect the fire, demands it. This is the final and highest understanding of communication. The inner conflict is that we often get the timing wrong. We are silent when we should speak up for our values, and we speak when we should be silent. We lack a clear guiding principle for when to use our most powerful tool. The problem is a lack of clarity about our ultimate purpose. Without a sacred fire to protect, our choices about speech and silence become arbitrary, guided by mood, fear, or ego. The ultimate solution, the principle that governs all others, is to speak only when your purpose demands it. This is the final integration of restraint and action into a seamless philosophy of communication. It means that both your silence and your speech are no longer random, but are deliberate tools used in service of your highest values and your life's mission. The core Stoic idea is that the wise person, the sophos, lives a life that is a coherent whole, where every action is an expression of their core principles. Speech is a powerful action, and so it must be reserved for moments when it is truly necessary to defend virtue, to seek truth, to protect the innocent, or to advance your purpose. All other speech is noise, a waste of the precious fuel that should be feeding your sacred fire. To live by this ultimate principle requires deep self-knowledge and unwavering commitment. The first actionable step is to be absolutely clear on what your sacred fire is. What is the central non-negotiable purpose of your life? What values will you not compromise? This is the mission you are here to protect. The second step is to adopt the guardian's test before speaking. Ask yourself, is my fire in danger right now? Does this situation require me to speak in order to protect my purpose or a core value like justice or truth? If the answer is not a clear and resounding yes, then silence is almost always the wiser course. The third step is to practice courage. There will be times when your purpose demands that you speak up, even when it is difficult or frightening. In these moments, you must draw on all your training and speak with the calm, assertive authority of someone defending what is sacred. The benefit of this practice is a life of profound integrity and impact. You will waste no energy on trivialities. Every word you speak will have weight and purpose. You will be known as a person of immense substance, whose silence is powerful and whose speech is meaningful. You will live a life that is not a series of scattered reactive moments, but a single, focused, and heroic act of devotion to your highest self. You become the guardian of the flame, a silent warrior whose life is a testament to the power of purposeful action and an even more purposeful silence. Your final practice is a reflection. Ask yourself today, what is my sacred fire? And then ask, have my words and my silences today served to protect it? This is the question that will guide you for the rest of your life. The mastery of communication is not about learning more words, but about understanding the profound power of silence. It is about becoming the warrior who speaks not when his ego desires, but only when his purpose demands, making every word an act of power and every silence an act of strength. Thank you for your dedication to this deep exploration of Stoic wisdom. The discipline to master your tongue is the discipline to master your life. If this guide has provided you with value, please honor the work by liking the video, commenting with your own definition of a sacred fire, and subscribing to Stoic Dominion for more strategies on building an unshakable life.